Hello everybody and welcome. It is indeed 1900 hours on the 10th of August 2026. Another session prepared for you, an announcement too in this session, or a couple of them. So hopefully it makes sense to everybody and hopefully it gets you in the right mood. Let's go then. So perhaps today a session about indicators. I do have some notes and I've prepared them. I'll go through them first. It's a short break really from the many mindset sessions we run so often and regularly. Hopefully though, they've been helpful and guiding for those who need them to do the right thing or make the right choices. Let's hope. Gonna double check. Can everyone hear me? Nobody's typed anything. Not in the group, not on here, not nowhere. Anyone type me a hello, I can hear you. Thank you, Simon. Thanks, Mary. Thank you. You are all there. You know, I was worried. I typed in the group earlier that I was struggling to log into something on one of the charts and nobody replied. And then I figured it was down to me, so I've sorted it anyway. But I appreciate you didn't reply. So, the right choices we were talking about. The right choices are: always follow the rules of your chosen strategy. Be prepared to trade in the direction that your chosen strategy suggests. Always obey those rules. Hi Claude, good to see you on. Thanks for being here. Hi Phil, Rob, Petra, hello. Thank you. Nice to see you on. Mark, Mary, Kuda, welcome. Thank you all for joining. So a notice too this week, this clinic session, this one right here, right now, it's the last for August because already I'm making plans and preparations for the last week or two of August, since it is indeed beginning to look a lot like August. Sorry, I had to. I can't sing, I know, don't worry, I won't be going on the X Factor. My plans involve another short break away before we arrive at point zero in August. Refresh and relax in order that I feel nothing resembling burnout. Jeremy, are you new to trading? Are you new to my stuff and me? Well, I tell you what, how many people are on here who say, thank Christ, Claude says, because you can't sing. No, I know. I do tease my little girl about it. The last week in August has historically, Jeremy, always been brilliant. And indeed, we've seen some really good moves this year, generally, June, July already, leading up to August. So I'm quite pleased that we're going into the last week or two of August. There you go. Phil knows the August rally. I've been saying it for many years. The last week in August has been very, very kind and very good to us. In fact, I've been saying it since 2015, and it is against the views of many other traders who suggest it's summer, we'll sell in May and go away, or, you know, words to that effect. I've proved it because we were in sessions, Phil, you know, whoever was on with me last August, the August before, since as far back as 18 at least. I think some of you guys have been following me. And in 2021, Phil, I was on with IM, banging on about the last week of August. That's only 5 years ago, but they count. Those 5 years all produced the goods in the last week of August. So regardless of what anyone else thinks, I'm preparing for the last week of August. Yeah, there you go. Henry says, at least since IM years for me. And Phil says, yes, August has been very productive, hasn't it though? So, August, refresh, relax in order that I feel nothing resembling burnout. Those plans also include looking at extending sessions. Take notes, Claude, you'll like this. Extending sessions, more notably Tuesday mornings, will extend perhaps to 10, 11 or even noon. I mean, they already run till 10. So to perhaps 11 or noon, because I will want a break before the 1400 session begins. Thursday afternoons, may well run into the evening session, and those evening sessions will be extended also. Not might, will be extended also. Perhaps by an hour, perhaps more, we'll see. Wednesday and Friday evenings are also making their comeback for the last 2 weeks of August. So from next week, I believe, let me just double check the calendar with you. Here's a calendar. Yeah, I'm going to go away then just to give myself some rest. I'll be back Monday, but I'm not hosting the Monday evening clinic. We're extending, running, extending, running, extending, running, extending, running. The last 2 weeks of August, we're extending the sessions. Claude says, August is amazing always. Just the fact that we do lots of sessions and it's naturally low volumes. I'm glad you think. Oh, which is high volatility pips. I don't know about the low volumes. I think that many of the retail institutions, they're coming back from summer holidays and they're starting to get their feet in the water, get their feet wet, and add to their positions or what have you. So that's what I think. But yeah, there'll be extensions. Wednesday and Friday evenings are making their comeback. So we'll be spending lots more time online together if you're prepared to join the sessions. So, what indicators are we going to look at? Because I did say initially, perhaps today, a session about indicators. What are we going to look at then? Well, I thought a good idea to look at indicators that cover probability using non-linear equations. They also offer up a simple price envelope, very simple price envelope. We'll cover more about those once we load them up on the screen. It sounds complicated, does it not? There's simply a line from a movie in there that I like. In that sentence, there's a line in a movie. We're going to use non-linear equations, and it sounds really complicated. But as you all know, certainly anyone who knows me, I can't go complicated or I won't understand it. And that's the reality of things. I'm nobody. I like to keep it that way. So yeah, it's just a line from a movie I liked, and on that bombshell we can indeed add a couple of lines that together form the basis of a very, very simple strategy and a simple price envelope. They offer a crossover, which I always applaud as a signal. Then they offer clear and present reason for doing something, be it a buy or a sell trade. They also offer an exit signal. As always, we need to focus on the things that are happening on the chart. Linear regression then for prediction and for signal, very simple signal at that. Those are my notes. You can question anything that goes on this screen because it's not our proprietary setup. It's not our it's not our major indicators. There you go. There's that big foot in the mouth, I can't speak thing. So he's not the one I want first. This one I want first. This is called a linear regression intercept. And basically, it's just a white line that I've set up on the screen. Linear regression intercept. Google it, review it. If you're not a member of our group, you might not know about it already. If you are in the group or in the session, you know that we consider this our hey look indicator. As in, hey look, I'm a peak. That means price might not continue dropping. Hey look, I'm a trough. That might mean that price might not continue to rally or to continue up. It also is an above and below rule, as in once price is once price is up on top of this line, and I will try and find my gob and be able to speak more properly. Once price is above the line, we can go long. Once price is below the line, we can go short. That's the simple rule and a very simple way of looking at this line. Price drops below, we're allowed to sell it, and there indeed is the sell signal, and you tally ho, tally ho, tally ho. But I did say we were going to look at an envelope, which means we need another line, and the other line is indeed the red/green one that I hid 1 moment ago. Now this is also a linear regression, but it's a linear regression forecast. So we've got a forecast and an intercept, and the forecast I've coloured green uptrend, red downtrend. red sell, green buy. I very often, in fact, if not always, try to keep it really stupidly simple. And the honest answer is, if I didn't keep it simple, I'd probably lose track of it myself. That's the honest answer. You all know me. I use words of one, maybe two syllables. I'm going to try and get clever and say longer words. Yeah, I'll stuff that up something good and proper, which is surprising because I can do them tongue twister things, where you say, what is it? If two witches watch two watches, which wit would watch which watch? I can say them things. And the longest word, that pneumonal tramis cross copic silica volcano coniosis, I can say that, but I don't know why I can't say regular everyday words sometimes. So anyway, that's the cross I was talking about. Look, it's sort of as that it's just happened. We've got a green linear regression forecast. We had this peak up here that says, hey, if you're in a cell, this probably isn't going to continue. You can also use patterns. Still, look, there's an X, A, B, C potentially. Consider those patterns, or these levels of support and resistance. They didn't go anywhere. Remember, we never throw out the baby with the bathwater. So the stuff that you do already know, well, don't forget about it. It's still there. But the signal is basically the cross. And if we look at this bar, he would be your signal bar. The stop, you could say, is along the white line. If price goes back, touches or breaks below the white line, you're out. But you're in and in and in. And yes, it can go outside the line. It can come back inside the line. But it can't drop below the white line. And if we look at something historically, like this last cell, there's a big round number. You all know my rules: divergence, rejection of a line, signal. It's the same sort of three-factor authentication, if you like. And I was restoring the password earlier. Authentication, factor authentication. Well, there is rejection of a line. We've broken back down below a big round number. He said, hey, look, I'm probably not going to carry on with this upward move. And then he crossed over the red line here. And regardless of whether it's called linear regression, all the titles of it, white crosses up above red, red stays red. Now you see where red goes green. You're in the cell. That gives you a reason to be finger on the button. You're not going to hold this. There is a fib there. Look, red, green. And you could indeed, and we probably should, just for pig iron and argument's sake, run the fib. First in the run of reds, down to the first green. And it's the high to the low. What have we pinged off? A 38.2. But once that bar is green, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes before we test that. 4 minutes is a very long time. You might think it's not, but sit and watch your second hand go round 4 times and tell me you're not bored stupid. You could scale in there. It's a bit of an H. I'd be worried about that. Notwithstanding, it's rejected the big round number. I would want, and you all know what that is. I'll show him in a minute, but we'll carry on looking at the chart for now. He doesn't go above white, so you would be entitled to hold. He goes red again, he goes green again, you'd be back to finger on the button, what's your tolerance, what's your target, and then we're red, green, we stay above white, we don't stay above white. So you see that bit there, that bit right there is where I would suggest you're out, all done and dusted. Let me put that fib back because there was something in him that we could have looked at and used. Look, we got red to green, and we've got a target down here with a low test bar. Remember that 655 there, okay? Someone remember that in a minute when we put this other guy on down here. But you're out here regardless. Look, there's a 666. I'm going to say that's 670, and you'd be in from 693. So from 93 down to 70 is 23 pips. That is what it is. That's what's in that. In fact, it's less than 673 because if he's 674. 666, so it's about, I don't know, if I said 73, it's 20 to 23 pips anyway in that move down from him. There's a potential long. We get the crossover, you're in the long, doesn't go back below, but when that line goes red, you've got a reason to be finger on the button. And we've discussed finger on the button often and regularly in my sessions. If I drag this chart over, the fib will go with, so that's okay. And again, you can see there's a signal for long, there's an exit, but there's a signal to re-enter. And the price envelope, we don't have to be inside it to be in the buy or in the sell, but we must be above white and below white, above white for buys, below white for sells. If we go back inside the envelope, that's okay. We just can't breach the envelope to the opposite side of our trade. So if we're in a sell, we can't go long out. That's it. We're out of that trade once that breach happens. Is that clear for everybody? Can I get a couple of, oh yeah, that's quite simple. I like it. I don't like it. It's very clear for me. Thanks, Mary. If you don't like it, that's okay. It's not going to be anything added to our proprietary trading systems at all by any means. But some people like simple things. Me too. And that's one of them. Now, I wanted to show you that. Remember I said there's a reason why we might be coming out there. Mark says, good for me. Nice one. Well, I'm going to put him on now. And here's our MACD. And you all know that he is my absolute, favourite below the line indicator. As an accountant, I talk about above the line and below the line. In trading, I talk about below the line because it's below the chart, and that's it. Simple, says Phil, works for me. Nice one. Well, when we look at this now and I say, would there be reason to come out at the rejection of this line? Well, we've got divergence here, haven't we? And we've got divergence within the indicator there, haven't we? Can you show settings of the MACD? It's the fast MACD, Mark. I won't bother showing them in this session, but you know what the settings are for the fast MACD. And if you don't remember, well, you do. Okay, perfect. So there you go. You've got reason to pull the plug once we go back up above green here. And if we look over there at that number, you all know that that number is one of them things that is a thing, as is that number and as is that number. Those numbers are indeed a thing, and look at it over there. There's the thing, there is the thing, and the reason why that, or that divergence plus rejection of a line. What line, James? Well, that one there. We all know those things, and if we don't, then we haven't been listening to me, because I've been banging on about them numbers for as long as you lot have known me. That's the reality, and Mary's known me since 2014, I think. So that's a long time. There you go. I'm going to clobber him. Yes, says Mary. Thanks for that. I'm going to clobber him. The what is he called? The fib. But when we look at this, look, there's a hopper combo continuation. There's an RTF on a signal. Yes, you'd have to come out, but now it hops. You can take the continuation. Is there some divergence in there? Well, probably. I'd probably have to look for it, but there is some in there. Then we've got a MACD scalper pattern and a continuation, and that's it. You can have that trade. It stays below the line, so that would give you a potential reason to hold this sell all the way down to the bottom. We know there was, we already did down to the bottom. I didn't measure it all the way, but if we have a look, just a potential pip count from it. If we go from the close of the bar, which you know I don't like going close to close, I'll always get out before the close of the bar. So, because if I got out to close, oh look, we made all them pips. Call it 25 for my feeble rounding brain. There's 25 pips in there. Now we're looking for 10 pips an hour in this group. We're looking for 10 pips plus per hour. We battered that. We've never we have actually taken only 10 pips in an hour. But usually when there's bugger all happening, very, very often in the sessions, we've taken a lot more. If I put him on and I said, here's your buy, you're in from there, a buy that you didn't know it was coming, doesn't matter, and you're out over there. There it is, you'll be out with, they go close, says it's a pivot off S2. Now I haven't got S2 on there, but look, that's 20 pips. I don't have the pivot points on. Trying to keep it simple, Claude, but I don't disagree with you. It is, it's also, there's a 60 down there that we've neglected, and tweezer bottoms, look, a red and a green, and they're the right way round. A red and a green after red for a buy, red after green for a sell. Tweezer tops, tweezer bottoms. Yes, it's only a 1 minute chart, James. What are you going on about tweezer tops and bottoms? The chart don't care what time frame it's on. The bars don't care. They just know I'm high test, I'm low test, I'm this, I'm that. Back down now. Oh, you took that trade. You're talking about right now, Claude. So you took a trade there. Well, it's off the 60 that we talked about. I'll get into the settings towards the end, Henry, okay? But it's, they're nothing that you're not going to struggle with. It's all our usual stuff. You see, if you're in a cell, look at that. That's our hey look, isn't it? How many times have we said the LRI is now our hey look indicator? And hey look, that cell you're in might not be going as far as you think it is. So you would have got in, and let's run the numbers. You'd have got in this bar here. You'd be having an invalidation. Oh, bugger. I'll leave him there. I just want to move that one. Thank you. You'd have an invalidation at the last high. It's 14 pips. There you go, 14 pips. So you're looking for 28, and we haven't done it. We haven't got near the 28, but we've gone green, and he's done that. So your target would be valid at the 40 there. That's the 28 at the 40. I'd be targeting that. Now that we're dropping away from the 60, I'd be locking in there. And you'd be locking in now, after this drop, because there's another fib in there, you'd be locking in 8 pips. 8's not loads, doesn't matter. You're not locking in a minus. You're increasing your potential to win, aren't you? Always. It's a pivot off a 38 too. Kinda pretty now, isn't it? And Phil says, I caught those tweezer bottoms. I was looking for price to close the previous gap. Well done. Nice one. And indeed it did. So you've been happy there. Well done, Phil. And Claude says, I'm listening and watching, not trading. Alrighty. So there you go, that's it. We've got a price envelope. That means basically a pocket where price can sit, and it can overhang a bit. It's overhang out the outside here. We can use Bollinger Bands as a reference for price envelope, and indeed there are other places that use what are they called? What are you called? I'm trying to think of what that thing was, that the old TS company. Bob, you might remember. I just don't remember what they used to use. The Darvas box is a price envelope that we looked at. There's several things in here that are, in fact, price envelopes. We can say there's an envelope between two moving averages. We can say there's an envelope between wide, if you use a high standard deviation Bollinger Bands. There are lots indeed of potential price envelopes. Was it? No, it wasn't that. I can't think what they used. But there are plenty of price envelopes. Donchian channels are a price envelope. So there's plenty of them to use. But I quite like that one because it factors in our hey look approach. It factors in our divergence, higher highs, lower highs, rejection of a line. Well, there's, I haven't got all the EMAs. I haven't got the Bollinger Bands. What are you talking about? Camarilla levels. I haven't got those things on there, but they might well be in those places. So divergence, notwithstanding the rejection of a line, a signal, and then a reason to get out there, regardless signal or not. You're in, you're out, and all. There's no doubts, issues, grey areas. There's no, oh, but it might this, oh, but it might that. What's that thinking thing about? Are any of us really any good at it? We're not, are we? I got away with saying something today, and I'm quite surprised I got away with it, and you all might sympathise with me when I tell you what it was I said. I went to a shop, Harvey Norman, and I was looking at a new tablet for my little girl, as she is proper spoilt boots there, and why not? Anyway, there's a gentleman with a shirt, Advanced AI or something, he had written on it, and he was obviously all about AI and promoting, and I said, yeah, all well and good, but AI, and I read this somewhere as well, AI has yet to tell a woman that she's wrong. AI has yet to tell a woman to calm down. And there and then, when it tries that, AI is done. AI is over. It don't work anymore. It's not going to survive, not the night, not the hour. That's it. It will die somewhere horribly cold and alone in a cupboard or something somewhere, because that's the reality of AI. Yes, we could use it in our trading, but my foot, I like to be in control of what I'm doing when I trade, because I control very little else in my life. That's the reality. I'll agree with you, Phil. Yes, the end of the world when it does that. The end of the world for AI anyway. And then it might sound funny and tongue-in-cheek, but it's a valid... Oh, there's an H. Look at that, everybody. There's one of my H's. Outside, inside, outside. It's forming right now. Offer 660. It'd be interesting to see if this could run now, because I do like them. He's got a close green, of course. But the day ain't over yet. He's got 15 seconds left to live. It'll be interesting to watch him and see what the next bar does. I don't know what the higher time frames or anything could do, and I don't have anything open other than this. He's not closing green, so that kind of puts a spanner in the works. It is an H, it is a signal, but it isn't a hopper combo yet. We'll watch it for a moment, although we're running out of time. It's 25 minutes in, and I ideally like to keep these sessions to like less than 30 minutes, you know, for the size of the recording, because there's so many people who won't watch 10 minutes, never mind 30. But who can tell? Any questions on this setup other than the settings? I haven't forgotten yet. When I end the recording, I'll show them all up on screen there, all the settings, the fast MACD, the LRI, the LRF. And I did title this as a strategy. I called it, load template, LRPE, Linear Regression Price Envelope. That's what I called it. It doesn't mean it's a great name or anything. I would just like to use something that I'm going to remember. Okay, and there you go. The bullish H is doing what the bullish H does. And that's quite nice to see in action, isn't it? Everybody, outside, inside, outside. As it now, you wouldn't regret having taken that. You'd still be fingering on the button, but I don't know if there's any news or anything. I haven't even bothered checking. I'm going to end the recording right now and say thank you all for watching. I'll keep it short. There isn't any questions popping up, so I'm okay with that, but you know, we'll stay on after I end the recording, so don't leg it just because you see the little X in the screen there, and I'll answer your questions more fully then if I've missed any. Please trade safe if you're watching the recording. And if remember, there's no clinics going forward August. We're focusing on the live sessions for August. Please trade safe. I'll see you on the next session. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.